moment. So they just see me looking stupid. As I go to my channel. Oh, that's me. I'm the one with feedback. Let me turn on my phone. And then we give it just a couple minutes for the room to, people to start coming to the room.
Yeah.
But that's not the most important thing, simply because we do know that some people don't come into the room, but they're watching,
Yes. And later, I guess it will be posted.
Yeah, and then it becomes its own thing.
Yes.
Hello, Mel. I see you.
And will you interacting with them? Will they be asking questions as well? Or
If you'd like, I'll leave that up to you, Wesley. I'll remember to bring that at some point towards the end, and then
okay.
if you feel like it, we'll do that. I can see you, by the way. I know you can't see me, but I can see you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, we won't wait too long, because like I say, once it's live, then people eventually, oh, here they come.
Mm-hmm.
Mel, I hope you get a chance to see the full stream. Jarvis Gillespie, what's up? We're not going to wait that long, you guys. We're just going to give it another couple minutes, and then we're just going to start, and then, people can just kind of rush in as they need to, because I don't want to abuse this
We're not gonna
brother's
wait that
time.
long.
Akibalon Violet, my angel. I'm so glad you're here. Wow. Perfect. And you're in at the start, too. Another couple minutes, everybody. Did you team?
Yeah, that was mine.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, I need to go and share this too. So let me take a minute to do that. You gotta share it so that it's out on everything. Okay, let me share this out. What's up, Killmonger? Shout out to you. You guys also start sharing this link as well. Start sharing the link for the video to your Facebook and your Instagrams and your Twitter, etc., etc. Start sharing, everybody. Thank you. Um, I'm getting it shared out on Facebook now. And out to Twitter. I don't have an Instagram. It just seems too trendy or something. It just doesn't speak to me. Okay, that's done now on Facebook and Twitter. Okay, that's done now. Okay, that should be enough. Let me begin my intro. What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. And I'm bringing you this interview that I was so pleased and honored to be able to have, for lack of a better word. As you all know, the murder of Botham Shem Jean touched many of us in a way that so many of the other shootings hadn't, you know? And, wow. And testimony to that is your viewership. You know, the first piece I did was the 3.5 hour documentary. 7,000 people showed up to view that. And then the successive pieces that I've done, but just not just your viewership, but your comments, the things you've had to say, you know, the live stream that we did about it. When I became aware of this brother that I'm interviewing for you today, his name is Wesley Hargon, a very sharp brother. You'll be most impressed with him. And you get even more of a sense of both of them. Like, of course, this would be somebody that knew him. Like, of course, you know. And the purpose of this is that we get just a better sense of Botham, who he was, their friendship with each other, how they met. And we're just going to go through to get a better understanding of his life, who he was, and also Wesley's take on the case and his reaction to Botham's murder, etc., etc. Again, I just want to say that I was deeply honored that he allowed me to do this. When I reached out to him, he was so gracious, and I'm deeply honored. So I'm going to now switch over and introduce you to this brother, Wesley Hargon. Give me 1 second. I love it when a plan comes together.
Right.
Greetings to you, Brother Wesley.
Jedi.
Greetings. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes, sir.
Your volume's a little low. Maybe it's me. It might be my in-house volume.
Okay.
It might be my in-house. Go ahead and say something.
Checking. Can you hear me?
Okay, I need you guys to give me feedback. Can you hear him? Talk to me, troops.
I also have a headphones that I can plug in if that works better.
Say something again, because
I have some headphones that I can plug in if that works better.
You sound okay now, but if you think the headphones will be better, we can always try it, whatever. You know.
Okay. Maybe I just need to speak up. Maybe that'll be
okay,
good.
we can try that.
Okay.
I've got people saying very good and good. Not me, you guys. Can you also hear him very well? Forget me.
Checking. 1, 2.
All right, they're saying yes, they can hear you.
Okay.
All right. First, Wesley, I want to say to you, thank you. And not just on behalf of me, but on behalf of everyone who's watching this now and who will watch this. When I became aware of even your presence on the earth, because there's so much stuff out there. I mean, it was just, I think even coming across you was probably like a needle in a haystack. And I was deeply moved, especially by the spoken word that you did. That killed me. It killed me. It killed me. It killed me. But I thank you for when I reached out to you, that you responded back, and you were so gracious as to, lend us your time to do this. There's a lot of curiosity about Botham's case because it was so special. It just stands out in the hearts and lexicons of everybody. And just the fact that you were given the opportunity to be in his life space is extraordinary. And that I'm even sitting here talking to you, that we're all seeing you now, is just like, I can't, I'm deeply honored. So I welcome you to the channel. If you'd like to introduce yourself, just so people can hear you, that'd be fine.
Yeah, my name is Wesley. I'm so happy that Jedi has me here. This is a crazy time in my life. I tell many people this has been some of the best times, and recently some of the worst. I feel like I'm in a dream, right? Can't believe all these things that are happening. But here we are talking about this, and I'm happy to be here to give you guys a fresh perspective on who my friend Botham is.
I deeply appreciate that, man. I want to start back, if you will, Wesley, and I won't take up too much of your time. I'll try and keep us moving along. If you could first just give us, like, maybe like when you first met Botham, or even when maybe sometimes you don't meet somebody yet, but you just see them.
Yeah.
You don't even know you're gonna be friends yet. You don't know if your lives are gonna intersect at all. Talk to me, if you could, about maybe that pre knowing him, if there was, and then sort of the how you guys got to know each other and introductions and so forth.
Well, Botham was well known on the campus. I went to Harding University. He went to Harding as well. I was a freshman, and he believed he was a senior. And I met him through the church that we both attended together. It was College Church of Christ. He was an intern there. He was leading songs and organizing the different worship services and helping out with the college classes. Mm-hmm. So I saw him there all the time, just up in the front, participating. So there was no personal interaction at that point. Mm-hmm. But then I applied for his position because I was interested in ministry as well, and I wanted to do what he was doing. I thought that he was going to graduate soon, but he ended up taking another year. So he had a victory lap that he was taking because he had 2 majors, right? So it took more time to complete those majors. So I got rejected when I applied for that job. I got rejected the first time. And then Botham he was supposed to come back that semester, mm-hmm. but he decided to take that semester off because PwC, which he was interning at, wanted to keep him for another semester because he was just doing so well in that internship. And because he didn't come back, I ended up taking his job. So I took his job, and I ended up doing some ministry work and doing exactly what he was doing. I wasn't leading songs as powerfully as he was, but I was still involved in the ministry at that church and with the campus activities as well. And from there, there was interactions, and I remember the first time I really interacted with him one-on-one. I was leaving church. I was getting ready to walk back to my apartment. I didn't have a car at the time, and both of them gave me a ride to the apartment that I was living at, and we talked for a little bit. And we knew each other at that point, but we didn't really have a one-on-one bond, really, or conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that happened, and the guy I lived with, he knew very well. I lived the guy from what is this? It's the country, not Ghana, but it's
Guyana.
Guyana, yes.
Okay.
I lived with him. He was from Guyana, and so they knew each other because they're both not from America. So it's pretty non-common at that university that I was at.
Okay.
But yeah, there was interaction there, and just all types of different things from there. Because he came back that next semester. That was his last semester, and then we hung out, we talked, and yeah.
What was did you get a sense of because his family was in St. Lucia, I assume at this time, and so did you get a sense of like, I know a lot of Africans, and so I know how just their aura overtakes me when I'm around them, in an honorable way. Like I'm deeply honored just to be, whatever. So did you get that sense from both of them, like, you know what I mean? Just that thing they have, it just kind of overwhelms you,
Yeah, he had that thing, but it came with so much more, because he was a man that was well put together. He always was dressed nice, always.
Right.
I never saw him slacking. Sometimes I would be slacking myself. You don't feel dressing up sometimes. Sometimes I don't get a haircut like I need to get a haircut. But both of them was on point, getting a haircut every time, right, and just really fresh, really well put together as a young black man.
Right.
And it's very rare to see. And it was very, very something to look forward to and something to learn from. And he taught me a lot. I learned more from him from our non-interactions than I did from my interactions together.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I can understand that. A lot from him than actually talking with him, which was crazy. And I think a lot of black people on that campus will tell you the same thing.
What would you say is the single most influential thing that you sort of picked up from him?
He was just a leader. He was a leader. He was involved, but at the same time, he did well in all the things that he was involved in. He was involved in a lot of stuff, but he did well, and that's what I struggled with as a college student. I was involved in a lot of stuff. Sometimes I didn't do very good at some of the things that I was involved in. But this man, he was that person. He was able to do good and really be with people and really serve wherever he was serving. So that was something that I learned from being with him.
It's interesting you say that, because I got that sense. Again, I think it's also from the knowledge of Caribbeans and Afro-Caribbeans. These brothers, their fashion game is ridiculous, and they're usually on point. I would even cite Kofi Siriboe, who plays, he's on Queen Sugar as Ralph Angel. But in real life, like when you see videos and pictures of him from red carpets or wherever he's at, he's on a talk show, you just go, I just need to go shopping with you, man, and let you dress me. Like, can you just, So I get that sense from both of them, even that one video that you had of him. I really don't know where that was.
It was at the Rock House. That's where we worked. So the Rock House was on campus, so it was in between the campus and the church that we worked at.
That's where that video was. Yeah,
that video was in that. And I uploaded a shorter version of that video. I have the longer version on my computer that I haven't shared with the public yet. But it's longer. We're just talking more, and so I forgot that I had that video until he passed away. Right, I didn't watch it until after he passed away, because I went back and looked for all this stuff that I had about him. I had some pictures, but also had that video, and man, my heart just dropped watching that. And it's a good moment and very, very powerful message that he was giving us.
I didn't know that was your video at the time. I saw it, and then I did a video and linked it and said, "Go and watch this. Like, this is him living and breathing and talking like it's him." You know, because I think everybody was so hungry to get just any. Like I said, this wasn't like any. It wasn't like Mike Brown. It wasn't like Trayvon Martin. It was just different. It was just different. You know, obviously the circumstance that made it different, but like I say, for me, it was more than that. It was once I got a little bit of who he was, that's when all that started to come on me. Like, wait, this is something different. This is different. Then when we saw his mother, I love his mother. My God, especially when she called Amber Geiger the devil. That was my life. It was everything. It was everything. I don't need to eat now the rest of the year. I'm done. That was my life. But it validated, you know. And then his mom is no slacker either. You know, she was in some high esteemed position in their country. And you know, it just everything, all of it. It just this is different. This is different. You know, who all was there in that rock house? Were those just close friends or?
Yes. Well, we had multiple interns. There was 2 ministry interns. I was one of the ministry interns. He was just there. Because he had taken a semester off, like I told you. So he came back and he was just helping out.
Okay.
And we had a media intern. So there was multiple girls in the video at the time, and so the whole circle, we have a group text now that we talk to each other and everything. But it just all those people were from Harding. They were students and they were involved with ministry there on the campus.
I understand. Is this what's the majority demographic on the campus?
Oh boy, mostly white, my brother. Okay. Mostly white. So he stood out. Yeah. He stood out. He was black, and he brought some soul to this predominantly white school.
Right.
It's a Christian university, singing together, and he led songs a lot. And, you know, I'm not sure if you've been to a white congregation before, but it's a little different.
Oh, yeah, I have. My God, yeah.
Yes. So, it's a little different, and he brought some soul with his song league and just with his passion.
Yeah. You know, especially with that Caribbean flair.
Yes.
You know, everything's about music and love and celebration in so much of what they do, you know. It's even reflected in their food. And to that point, too, I wanted to ask you, was he dating anybody?
Yes, he was.
A white girl?
Low-key. What was that?
A white girl, we presume?
It was a white girl. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think that's probably partly why he was low-key. He wasn't embarrassed about it, but it was just he was very low-key. He didn't really share his public, and that's how I am too.
Yeah. Gentlemen don't do that. We don't do that. That's little boys do that.
Yes,
little
absolutely.
Boys do that. Men don't do that. So I can definitely respect that from him. Was there, because one of the discussions that I've had with other people, and I've even seen some of my followers saying the same thing. We wonder if, and you know, you being from Mississippi, you have a certain understanding of the history here and our relationship to, you know, white people.
Yes.
I sense that, like our brothers from Africa, our brothers from the islands, I don't know if they are as precocious as we might be in situations. Did you get that sense that what's my question? Did you get the sense that he was up on game? Maybe I'll just say it that way. You know, or
I see where you're going.
Talk to me.
And I think that's partly why he put together. That's why he would kind of dress like you would see the white brothers dressing. Because he wanted to make sure that I'm a big black man, but I'm not here to rob from you. I'm a big black man, but I'm not an evil person, right? He wanted to make sure that if you saw him, you would, by the way he dressed, by the way he carried himself, you would know that this was not a regular black man, right? There was something special about this man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He was very intentional in that way. And I know his mom talked about that in one of the interviews. The way he carried himself. He was aware of the fact that he was a black man in America. and
Yeah.
that people saw big black men in America in a certain way,
And
right?
that's why eventually, later on, I want to get into, because that was one of the things that concerned me about the condition of his apartment when they showed that. But I want to go to this. Lastly, on this subject, I want to ask you this. Was it widely known, across the campus or your inner circle that his girlfriend was a white girl? You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, his friends knew that for sure. He didn't start dating her until like a couple months before he graduated.
Okay.
So he wasn't walking around with her.
Right.
And I've never even seen the girl. I just know she's white because my boss, the guy that we worked for together, told me that. And he was worried about how they would go to worship together because he went to a predominantly black church, and things are a little different there.
Yeah. It's tambourines and praise dancers, and it's a lot going on.
Yeah, she might not have been. I don't know. Maybe she did go, but yeah, I don't know that.
The reason why I went down that line of questioning is because, I think it's anti-intellectual for us as African people, certainly when something like this happens. Given our history dictates that we must ask the question of race. We must always ask that. We should never be let somebody say, "Oh, why are you bringing up race?" Because since you brought us here, it's been about race. Like, are you kidding me? Like, if I go to prison and they give me spaghetti all day for 10 years that I'm there, and then I go, well, I know it's going to be spaghetti. And they go, why are you bringing up spaghetti? Because that's all I've had for 10 years. Why wouldn't I think it's spaghetti? So it's that basic, it's not about, it's just that simple. It's that straightforward. And so there was many questions about that because as it related to this Amber person, I can't believe I'm saying her name because I've called her every other name, but I'm being nice for you. I'm suppressing those names just to say that, we wondered because, like, it is Texas. Texas has a certain history, and as does much of that region. And, I was mostly worried for my brother. I was like, I wonder if he just wasn't up on game. Did he just embrace white people? Because I always feel like if any Africans or any diasporic black people that come here from other places, they need one of us to be sort of their host. Like, let me just, you need to be my apprentice so I can show you the way because we are experts on this here. And I don't know to what degree you experience it if you're from the UK or if you're from Africa or if you're from the Caribbean, whatever. So I just need to let you know this is what's up. And there needs to be an installation of a healthy, what's the word?
Awareness, maybe?
Precociousness installed, Like, don't just jump out there.
Yeah.
Because this is a people who historically grinned in our face while burning us at the stake. So I worried for him in that way. Move us now to, was there anything else you wanted to tell me about him, just as an individual?
Well, everybody that knew him loved him. So that should just tell you something, right?
Yeah. Do you know when was his, that's right, because his birthday just passed.
Yes, his birthday was on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's why I made the video.
27 on 29.
27, yeah. So they had a celebration at my university again. So I made that spoken word for that ceremony.
Wow.
They shared it there because I wasn't able to attend because I was still here. So that was giving my little piece of just, I guess, whatever you would say, at a funeral. Just yeah.
Move me now to when you first begin to get wind that something's not right.
Okay, so when I found out about him, well, it was my day off. I take days off on Fridays, and usually I just take those days where I don't connect at all. Like, I usually keep my phone off most of the day.
I feel you.
And just dive into some books or dive into the Word, right? So I just get away for a little bit, but I'm glad that I kept my phone. I put my phone on at some point, and a friend of mine it was his birthday. I was telling him happy birthday, and he asked me if I heard about Botham, And I was like, no. And he sent me this article about black man being shot in his apartment. And I could not believe it. I was just floored. I was floored, and it wrecked me.
Yeah.
I was gonna just relax that day. I spent the whole day calling people, reading articles, and just really just sunk. I stayed in my apartment all day that day, and I was distraught, man. It was one of the hardest deaths I've ever experienced, for sure. And I've lost people in the past, but never in this way. Never in this way. And the days following that, how the whole nation became aware of my friend dying, right? It's just a very, very crazy event. And I'm gonna remember it for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna be telling people about this for the rest of my life. And it's just crazy. I spent that whole following week refreshing pages, typing in his name just to see what else they're bringing out, because I wanted to see why this happened, right? How could this happen? So that was my life for about a week. I kept refreshing pages. Even at work, I would come to work and still be on the computer just looking at articles about the story and trying to figure out if they have more information. So it just wrecked my world, for sure.
Did your group get together, like even the Rock House crew and things like that? Did you guys get together and, have anything, did you ever have you had a chance to mourn Wesley? Like the ugly cry, the snot. I really mean that. Like, brother, to just let it out.
I've done some crying, but I haven't really been around those people. I haven't been able to make it to Searcy, Arkansas, where we're at school. I've been so engaged in this job that I have here.
That's right, because that Rock House is in Arkansas.
Yes, it's in Searcy, Arkansas.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not there right now.
Right. Okay, I'm with you now.
I'm talking to my boss there. His name is Todd Gentry. I've been talking with him. I've been talking to my friend Hunter. He was also an intern. So I've been talking with people, but I haven't been able to be with people because most of us we're all graduated. That circle that was there, we've all graduated and kind of went our separate ways across the United States.
Okay.
So we haven't really been together. So I've done different things. I've written songs. I've made songs. I've talked about it in videos. So that's kind of helped me with it. But it's still something I'm struggling with.
Did you try to get to Texas? And by the way, why was he in Texas?
He had a job there at PwC, so he was working there. He got
what is PwC? I mean, right.
PwC is a what is it? It's kind of like
he was an accountant, right?
He was an accountant there. So it's like a water, electric, gas type of thing.
PwC. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. I
call it
Right. Okay.
Right. So that's where he was working, and he was there. He was also, working at the church there, leading songs and stuff like that. So yeah, he was in Texas, and I didn't make it to the funeral. I'm working on my master's degree here in Memphis. Yeah. So I had classes that next day, and I ended up watching it online though. I watched it, and yeah.
When was the last time that you saw him?
I want to say it was his last semester. We did a chapel. We have chapel at the university there, so we did a chapel together. It was a Bisons for Christ chapel. I was in it. I did a spoken word for that chapel. He led songs, and that's available online as well. Okay. So the last like intimate time we had together was the night before that chapel. It was just me, him, and a friend, Hunter Hackworth. We were all interns together, right? So we were just practicing. I was going over my spoken word lines for him, and that's where we were kind of had our last intimate moment together. And, that's the last moment I remember with him.
Have you been contacted by any press or anything like that?
Not any press, just different YouTube channels and things like that. I'm not sure if people realize that I'm a friend, but I'm not the only friend from Harding, of course, but I'm the only friend that probably makes YouTube videos and really has my name out there. I've been doing this.
I would tell you that I would probably start putting some things in place because as social media gets around, Um, you know, maybe some organizations and things might start to contact you. It's just a possibility,
Yeah.
especially as they move into more of the legal phase of this case,
Yeah.
things like that. And I would also just be on guard because we know that the white media will take your words and switch them and change them and try to make you say something you didn't say. Um, I called into a Phil Donahue show many years ago. Not his one back before I was born, but this other one he had on CNBC. And they had these, when you call in, that's when you could call into television.
Yeah.
And the guy I was calling in to be against Jerry Falwell and his whole life existence on the planet.
Yeah.
And by the time I was done, the guy was trying to get me to almost say I support Jerry Falwell. Like, I can't. And they kept going, I know you'll be brief. We're waiting. We're going to commercial. I can't hear because you can hear it in the studio. When, you can hear the other callers. Anyway, and I know television. I've been on television. I've been in television, all that kind of stuff. I just know. And as we saw with the whole marijuana thing, talk to me also about that. What was your feeling when you heard this whole marijuana thing, if you had any feelings about that?
I knew right away that it wasn't his. I felt that in my gut that it was not his, because unless he changed the last couple of months of his existence.
And so what? It's legal across most of the country.
Even then, right? He still did not deserve to be shot in his own place.
Exactly. Even if he had a nursery up in there growing it out the windows, he still didn't deserve to be murdered.
Everyone from my university would say no, that wasn't his.
I don't believe it. And then I was inclined because, in the Caribbean, it's a way of life in many parts. It's not seen as the taboo that it is here. It's part of it because they're more into nature and things like that. Like there's even, I think it might even be St. Lucia. I was watching a documentary one time and they were talking about how there's a plant that grows everywhere. And when the baby's crying, because you just give them this plant, they're good. That's it. That's it. That wasn't to me any character flaw of his at all.
Yeah.
Like I was pissed that it was just like, how dare, and that the sort of mystery of the marijuana, if you will, because it was you got a special search warrant to go back there to search the dead man's apartment, but we don't know anything from this heifer. Nothing at all. Why aren't we searching her apartment? And then the whole. But thankfully, we found out the door is not. When you start to find out details about the case, were you feeling the same rage that I was feeling? Just let me know. If you weren't, that's fine. I'll just continue on my Valium and I'll be fine. And
I mean, it's rage. It's a sense of fear too. That someone could take my life and they could get away with it. They could change the story around and kind of add these elements, and next thing you know, they're walking away.
Right.
So it's raised so many things in my life because, brother, to be honest to you, before this happened to me, I was not aware of a lot of the things happening. I was not in tune with the Black Lives Matter. I was not in tune with a lot of the shootings, right? I was kind of like in my bubble, just focusing on me and focusing on people around me, right?
Right.
But it's gone further than that, and I'm understanding that as a black man, as a black believer of God and Jesus, I have a right to stand up for justice. I have a right to stand up for those who are being treated in an unjust way. It's my duty. Yes, I like that a lot better. It's my duty to do that.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm understanding, brother. This is what his death has taught me and what I'm continuing to learn.
Well, I want to say this to you. You have my phone number.
Yeah, I do.
And from this day forward, as long as I exist and breathe on this earth, you can always reach out to me. Because everybody doesn't have the same learning curve and the awareness curve of, everybody's, like, I speak to my people all the time. And you got some that are one end of the spectrum, you got some at the other end of the spectrum, and somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I'm just the balance that you need, man, because I will always tell it to you straight. And I can clarify and do dissertation for things for you. Not dictation, just give it to you and let you do with it what you want. There you go, fly. You do that. Go ahead. So there's no time, day or night. I don't even give my phone number to people if they're not allowed to call me. Like, you can literally call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I mean that. The only way that I'll be pissed off is if you tell me I was going to call you 3 o'clock in the morning, but I thought it was too late. Then I'll be pissed because you didn't call me, because you didn't hear me. Like,
Yeah.
I meant what I said. Like, I don't waste my time on the earth. If I say it, I mean that. If I say I'm going to kill you, you need to be checking for me because here I come. So it's that serious for me. So I mean that for you. I offer that just as, because I think all of our brothers need mentors, and I'm worthy. You know, I'm educated, I'm talented, I'm well read, and all those things. You'll know that about me just as you get to know me, you know. But I offer myself as one of those mentors. I have other young guys that I say, I'm your dude. I'm your dude. I'm the one you call. That's it, you know. I've talked brothers down from pregnancy, like, no, you're not doing that. Take your ass, go take a cold shower tonight. We're not having that. Whatever I needed to do, you know. And then I have a background. I worked juvenile corrections for two and a half years, and then I did adult men's corrections for 3 years. So I got a few things in my head, and you know, that might be of some value to you. So you can always call me, always, 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 and I mean that. The other thing I want to say is now, so that when you begin to hear this ridiculousness, did you have any thoughts about the district attorney and the sheriff and the Texas Ranger, who we also found out was another African?
Initially, it was I was just submitting to what they were saying, and I was just really just trusting them. But you know, things started getting sticky, and questions started to come up, and I started to wonder what the heck is going on. So now I don't know who to trust. Right. I trust Lee Merritt. I trust him. I trust that he's going to try his best to figure out how to get this right, and to make this right, and to make sure that justice is served. So yeah, it's just been a lot of questions coming up, and I was mad for a while. I was upset, but I realized that I'm kind of ineffective in that state, just staying in that state, right? So I'm trying to kind of balance it out as I think about my job here at the church and what I've been called here. So,
you know, you have a gift, Wesley. You know, I see it on you, and you'll have to live a little bit longer, and then you'll see it on yourself. I'm down the road in the future. I see it. You have a gift, brother, and wow, like your whole, like your absorption of this is phenomenal to me, because like I'm angrier than you. Like I murder, kill, slay, and burn, you know. That will take you a long way. It will take you a long way, but don't ever let that be, because that will be used. You know, unfortunately, in our society, you have to show that I do have fangs. I have them. Just so everybody know I got them. That's all. You know. What about the ridiculousness of the details? The door ajar, and the marijuana, and you know, the red rug, and you know,
just they're trying to cover her up. That's what it sounds like. They're just trying to cover her up. And I don't know if it was intentional, but I do know that he did not deserve to die.
No, absolutely not.
What I know. That's what I know. No matter how you paint the picture, he did not deserve to die. And they're going to try to paint it to where maybe, no matter how, both of them should still be here.
Right. Well, we've seen this hocus pocus, because you'll recall with the Trayvon Martin case, suddenly it wasn't about fat ass Zimmerman getting out of the truck and following this teenager in the night in the rain. No. It was about whose voice is that on the tape and who was on top. So that a stranger coming at me in the night, I beat his ass. Then I deserve to die. Like the attacker becomes the victim. Like they pulled this hocus pocus in front of us. They pulled this in front of us. They did a magic act. It was a magic act. So this is what we see here. So this is what I believe the whole search warrant was about, going to his apartment. Oh, he's a black man. There must be some dirt on him. But then everybody talked about how clean his lifestyle was. And I want to ask you about that. When you saw Did you happen to see any of his living quarters in Arkansas?
No, I know he was an RA, and I never walked into his apartment or anything or
Okay.
his
But
I
one would
saw.
extrapolate that if he was as well groomed and all that stuff that we know he was,
Yeah.
brothers like that don't keep a tacky house.
I was in his car, like I said earlier. He had a clean car.
That's
that
it. That's
if
it. Because if your house is junky, your card is not spared. It's
yeah,
not. It's not. So I'm inclined to believe that something went on. Some people were saying in the comments that they believe that the stuff that they're calling laundry that was on the couch was really bedding. One of the sisters was pointing that out, and that it seemed to her that more likely he was laying on the couch. Like I live alone, like you, so like I do what I want. Most time I'm in my drawers, and I might be on the couch, and I think I'll go get in the bed. I'm just all over the place.
yeah,
So that could happen, once you're in for the night. You're not expecting company. I can make
exactly.
a little bit of a mess if I want,
Yeah, please.
So it just seemed a little inconsistent. It just seemed a
Mhm.
little inconsistent. Um, what are your thoughts if they pull the Magic Act?
Mm,
Somehow she's found not guilty, because you need to know this. The district attorney could have charged her outright that night,
mm,
and the sheriff could have fired her. What I saw was black people, what we have all across the country. We have black people in every key position of this society with the
mm.
wrong heart. They're not
Yeah,
there in the interest of our people, and they're not there as activists. You've had an obligation, not that we're trying to just do this little white lady wrong. She's wrong. Now
yeah.
arrest her ass and then call your district attorney sister up. Girl, I need you to press charges. All right. You see, and have that. You see,
Yeah.
and then we find out the Texas Ranger is another black person. Why do we have black people in white spaces doing nothing for African faces? What's going
Mm.
on?
They're
You
forgetting who
see?
they are.
And I'm calling
Forgetting-
on you, Wesley, right now,
Yeah.
as a young man. Wherever you stand in this society, you got to stand for your people.
Mm,
You must. You must, you must, you must. That's a responsibility we've all been given. It was given to us in 1619.
mm.
We have that responsibility. We can never acquiesce and say, oh, we're all the same, because our very DNA says we're not.
Mm.
We have a different enzyme that comes off the cells of our body, off of our cells.
Yeah.
Melanin is not just color. God wasn't just coloring. He's
Yeah.
letting you know that you are something different. I've made you of many different tribes and nations, that you may know one another.
Mm.
Now go and get to know. You see, the zebra is not the same as the giraffe. The hummingbird is not the same as the mockingbird, etc., etc. Why do we come with this vomit that we're all the same? No, because then I got to give up some of my greatness, and so do you. And then you more likely trying to steal some of my goodness, or usurp some of mine for your own and claim it as your own, and now you plagiarize it. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
So we have to do that, because we're in a society where they do that. They do that. If the tables were turned, a white district attorney would already have prosecuted that sister. She would have been up for murder charges that night. This is
Mm.
not fantasy, I speak. If that had been a white sheriff, he would have already arrested her, and her job would have been no more, and they would have had some hideous, uh, you know, booking photo of her. But this
Mm.
girl goes to a different county to be booked. I suggest they're setting you up for a change of venue to where they can get more white jurors, like they did for Rodney King. Let's move to Simi Valley where it's all white. Not
Mm.
guilty. You see?
Yes, sir.
The Magic Act.
And
The Magic Act. I hear there's going to be unrest in Texas if she's acquitted. What do you think?
yeah, and I might have to go down with them, right, and try to figure out what I can do.
We will see each other face to face, brother.
Sure. I'm because
Because we
this can't
cannot
happen.
stand. We can't stand.
This
And just, how long are we going to lay down?
that's right.
How long are we going to lay down? If you go to school every day and some guy takes your money, and I see it, at some point I go, you're a punk. You just, that's why he's taking your money. You're not doing nothing. You know. Final thing, I want to see, if you feel like answering any questions, um,
Yeah,
you can say no or yes, or if you want to take one or two and just keep it
for
short,
that.
whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Um, Let's see. If you guys have any questions, just quickly, I'm looking down now to see some of your stuff that you've been typing since we've been on. Here's somebody, Sharon A. says, the first one caught my eye. Said the family needs to make a public demand for celebrities like LeBron and Oprah to stand with them in their fight for justice. It's a shame that it has to come to that, because like I say, that night, these black women could have acted. And instead they played this, oh no, I can't arrest, I can't get a warrant, I can't, it's like a hot potato.
Yeah.
And then she goes to this other county, and the language was, because I went through that timeline in that 3.5-hour documentary, thank you very much, and broke down the language. She was admitted. Not booked or, processed. She was admitted. In the log, it said she was admitted, like she was at the emergency room or something.
Yeah.
You guys got to proofread your stuff. It takes me 10 minutes to read your comment. If I have to figure out it in medieval Yiddish, I'm not doing it. Proofread before you hit comment. Who am I speaking about specifically? I don't know. I can't find you now. I'm over it. LC said that all celebrities that are from Texas should speak up, including Beyonce. I agree with that.
I agree too.
That's the only reason to be famous or to be anywhere. You've got to be a soldier for righteousness, period. It can't be about you. It's about what is right. What is right, not who. And you can't be concerned about popularity or even injury to self. You got to represent it and tell it and breathe it and live it and give it. You have to.
I see a question here about have I spoke to John's family?
Okay, you see the questions too?
Yes, I see them.
Perfect. Okay, good. Go.
So I haven't spoken to their family. I got an alarm going off here. I'm not sure if you guys can still hear me.
I can't hear
but
it.
You can hear me?
I can't hear the alarm.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Well, I haven't spoken to the family, but like I said, I spoke to Todd Gentry. He's our boss, and he's like a father figure to Botham. So he went down to help identify the body with Botham's mom. So
who did?
Todd Gentry, our boss. My boss, Botham's old boss.
Yeah.
So he went down to Dallas from Searcy, Arkansas, to go help identify the body of Botham.
Wow.
And so he's pretty close, and you saw him speak a few times at the funeral and also at the little ceremony they had the day after the shooting happened.
Wow.
So I haven't talked directly to the family, but I've been talking to Todd Gentry, and Todd Gentry has been to St. Lucia and everything.
Killmonger, I think we answered. I think we don't really. Killmonger is asking, how did she actually get into the apartment? We don't just know that, really. My best guess is, my whole synopsis is this. I think that because we know she had been complaining about his music, and there even that day there had been a complaint. He had gotten a call. To me, it was the uppity Negro. He lives in this nice place. He's a man of a certain income. He's there. He lives above her. Whatever noise was being made, I feel like she got home because they even mentioned the language. They wanted to confirm whether or not she had gone to her apartment. Confirm means there was a finding and you're following up on. So that was the language. Confirm whether or not she had gone to her apartment first. I think she did go to her apartment. And she gets home at 10 o'clock at night. She's worked 15 hours or whatever she worked. Whatever. Our people worked in the fields longer than that. I just had to get that in. And, and then now damn it, this noise. Because I have noise sensibility. I go from help old lady to kill everybody on the block when I hear bumping and I can't have it. I think she then went up, and that was why it was the open up. I think they probably got the language wrong. Let me in, open up, whatever. It was open up because now she's going to confront him. he opens the door because she's told two stories. One, it was completely dark, which is a lie, because if the light that was right outside is
And he was watching the TV. He was watching the TV, watching the game.
then
So
so you've got TV light and
yeah,
all of that. So there wasn't this dark, mysterious shadow, but we've got to stop making him spooky. And I think that he went to the door and probably snatched it open, like, what the hell does this heifer want? And she shot it.
Mm.
I just want to know where the blood stain was. But that won't really tell me anything I have to know about blood splatter. Where was blood splatter? Because was there blood splatter? And then also where they say there was a pool of blood at. The blood tells the story. That's my synopsis. I think she confronted him over that. I think they may have known each other, even just in passing, because you live in a building, you're going in and out, maybe there's a laundry room, you're in the office, you see people. You may not know them, but that person lived in my building,
Yeah, you may say hi.
Yeah.
The type of attitude that Botham had, he was the type that would say hi to people.
I believe that, because culturally, those people, they're not as uptight as we are.
Yeah.
You go past brothers and just, they can't even do that bad.
Yep.
Diva Queen, I don't know how true this is, but I heard the neighbors were stating that they heard her demand her way in. I think that's plausible, even if we don't have any concrete evidence for that. What us, your perspective, us? Power? What us, I'm going to stab you. Your perspective on white people, since you have recently realized what is going on with your people in this society.
Look, that perspective keeps changing for me personally. I grew up, like I said, my dad was in the military, so we traveled all around. I was with white people, I've been with black people, and there was a period where I wasn't really exposed to like real black people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when I got to high school, I was really exposed to it in New Orleans, and that's kind of where I changed my perspective a little bit.
What branch of the military was your dad in?
Army.
Were you ever on Fort Lewis?
For Fort Lewis, no.
Washington State.
Washington State.
Yeah.
No, not
Okay,
Washington State. I was in Washington, D.C. in Fort Belvoir.
Okay. Yeah.
In El Paso, Texas, Fort Bliss. Then I was in Hawaii for 2 years.
So you're in it, but there's a lot of black folks in the Army.
Yeah.
But you were young, so
Yeah.
you weren't like at the NCO club and all these things,
Yeah.
So, and you don't have to answer this, because this is, I think, a little bit beyond the scope of what I wanted. If you want to, I'm not the boss of you.
Brother, I'm open to anything.
But, if you could talk about, because especially as a young person, Wesley, I think that's a very good question from Diva Queen. I think that was from. Shout out to Ajane. That's why I offer myself as your guru mentor, that you just call anytime in the middle of the day or night, whatever, and say, brother, I just want to ask you about this. What do you think? Because I have lived all over the country, and so it wasn't military, but I've lived all over the country. And I think more of a statement than a question to you, Wesley. I would say to you, you are in a time that it's getting worse. And the reason for that, if you don't know it or not, is because for many years, they had us believing that white people are the majority in this country, and they are not. And they haven't been for a very long time. I personally know Arabs who they make them declare themselves white. Then you have white Latinos that they add to their numbers. There's a very famous doctor, Mustafa Hefni. He's blacker than your hair. He's a black Egyptian. And for decades, he's been in this country. He's lost jobs at universities and everything because they want him to just shut up. He wants to be declared black. And a black African. I'm a black African Egyptian. Why do I have to be white? So their numbers are not there. The election of Barack Obama proved that. They didn't elect Barack Obama. Everybody else did. He didn't get the majority white vote. So this is why you see the alt-right and the, Charlottesville and Trump and all of that, because they don't want to give up. They're okay to the rhetoric of we need to get along, there needs to be equality, but equality for them feels like oppression. Of course I get that job. Of course the chick on the commercial on TV looks just like me. Of course, there's all these of courses that go on. But the demographic has changed. California is a majority minority state. They're not the majority here. And the governor of the state will be Antonio Villaraigosa. He was the mayor, and I said for many years, I was in Maryland, I go, whenever he wants to be governor, he'll be governor of the state. Trust me, he will be. So, but we see that happening all across the country. And when you start looking around, even where you at, you start realizing, I'm seeing more black people than white people for the most part. They're not the majority. So there's a panic that's going on. And why that's important to you in your young life is because we have to never put down history. That has to always be right here on your shoulder. That's why I asked you about Botham and, did he have a white girlfriend and, that whole thing, because it's important that every black man knows Emmett Till is in his grave today for whistling at a white heifer.
Yeah.
Greenwood, Oklahoma, 3,000 of our people were killed and bombed from the sky even in 1921. Because some white heifer said a black man did something to her, it tripped in an elevator or touched her or just looked at her or breathed on her or something. And 3,000 of our people died. It was the richest community in this nation. We had oil, we had chains of theaters and supermarkets, lawyers, doctors. It was everything that you conceive of in the society now. We had that in just that one town. Before we get to there's another city in Arkansas, and then there's Rosewood, and we never talk about Reconstruction when we were in government and we were doing a lot of things, So as a young black man, you need to always keep that history right here, because that would be your protection. Because awareness is what will save you. Ignorance and buying into the kumbaya can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because the history of our people is that they would grin at you while stabbing you in your back. When you look at old pictures of lynchings and burning us at the stake, there was a sea of them that would come on trains from all over the region to see one of us being lynched and burned. They bring their children. They cut off parts of the body, and that would be part of what they give you as a souvenir. This is the same people. Like, there wasn't like some hocus pocus, we were in a dream. It was a dream, and now we're all different now. Those people still exist. That's why the evil against us has always existed. The police started out as the slave catchers, then they were the patty rollers, now they're the police. So I just want you to always walk with a cautious foot. Know the environment. I always preach the big three: your enemy, your environment, and your condition. You gotta always be aware that you are an African. You're not like everybody else just by biology, but certainly your history in this nation makes you different than those white people who want to befriend you and all that stuff. You can befriend them, but you need to watch them with a jaundiced eye, because they're the first to turn on you. We look at all the reality shows. The black person can never win because they got white judges and they have mostly white contestants. Certainly Survivor, you see them immediately come together and the black person's definitely got to go. Like, that's an unspoken, we definitely going to be against the black person. Like, they don't have to say it, It's just known. Like, it's known. So I just want you to walk with that consciousness, You don't have to be the militant that some of us are.
Okay.
You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But you need to be your own militant for you.
I agree.
So just receive that. Last couple questions. Barbara Edwards. Well, shout out to you. We keep asking why these celebrities won't. Okay, we dealt with celebrities. I'm going to move from that, Barbara. Just concrete questions, you guys, not editorials for now, because I don't want to abuse the brother's time. Um, I'm not Diva. Uh, okay, don't forget about the crosses. Yeah. They used to see our babies. Yeah, yeah. They used to feed our babies to alligators. That's very famous. Uh, okay, so I'm not gonna drag this out, you guys. You guys are mostly doing comments, and that's fine. I just was trying to give you an opportunity to get just concrete questions in. I like their equally feels like. I like that their equally feels like Tuesday. I'm not
Asked
reading
where he was
Yiddish.
shot.
Huh?
Kristen, he was shot. Kristen was asking where both of them was shot. He was shot in the heart, right in his chest.
Wow.
Yeah. So she shot twice. One shot did not hit him, but the other shot hit him right in the heart. So it's crazy, right?
My God.
And then Nicole has a question about how I felt about the red rug and lightning in the hallway. It's ridiculous. Red rug
Outrageous.
and a sign lit with what the number says,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it's super obvious.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if she was on something.
Yeah.
That's my suspicion.
But you know what?
If
But
it's
no,
not,
because here she worked all these hours. She's never worked this, and she's done it all. And then now
yeah,
she comes home, and oh my God, and she gets a straight in the heart shot. That sounds to me like it wasn't a moving
mm,
target, because they say that they thought they heard both of
yeah,
them say, "Why did you do that?" To me, that
mm,
sounds familiar. Like,
yeah,
if I never met you, I have a different exclamation. Why did you do that? It's like maybe we had an interaction before you shot me. And I didn't think it was going
mm,
that far. I thought we're just arguing, we're having a mild discrepancy. And then you
yeah,
shoot me. Why'd you do that? It sounded personal.
yeah,
It haunts me, man. It haunts
yeah,
me. It haunts me because it haunts me. Uh, and we're dealing with people whose whole history is nothing but lies and deception.
mm.
We're never going to get the truth unless we're not going to get the truth. All we can hope
And
for
brother,
now is justice.
the question here about how the students reacting at the university.
You're getting good
Now,
questions. I'm not saying any of that.
yeah, I see it, and that's a good question because people at the university, like I said, it was majority white. So before this, I don't remember hearing my white friends talk about injustice issues, right, or talking about Black Lives Matter. But now
No.
I'm hearing them talk about it, which is awesome. So that's been awesome. I hear people sharing posts about political issues that need to be addressed. People are a lot more vocal. I'm a lot more vocal, even as a black man. His death has really awoken me, and a lot of people are now woke, and I hope they stay woke so
And
they can
this
do.
is how you can challenge those whites that are around you. Find out what they're made of.
Mm,
Hey, if you're in my corner, okay, still watch with a jaundiced eye, but show me something. Does this
mm,
matter to you? You see what I'm saying? Because it's always the fake. Here they come with the backpacks for Black Lives Matter march, and like that. I can't with that. So,
yeah,
if there's an opportunity to utilize them for the good of forwarding a message that would be honorable in the memory of both of them, I would pursue that if I were you. And
mm,
I'm not the boss of you once again, but I'm just saying. Um, Somebody asked if you were interviewed by the Texas Ranger. No, he was not.
no,
Did anybody else? Did any law enforcement reach out to you at all? But I'm thinking it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Because as you begin to get more exposure on social media, because social media is just like that's it. You know.
yeah.
Uh,
Agent A is talking about a question she asked a couple of minutes ago. I'm trying to look for it. Okay, I see it. She said, "What do you think it would have taken for him to become aware of the evil behaviors of most white people? Because we all of African people need to understand." I don't know, because this is something that I struggled with before. So I think it takes something like this to happen to maybe someone you know, or even to you, for you to really understand the evil.
That's why I say
It has
everybody
to
has
be.
that curve. You know, if your parents didn't instill it in you, and and no shade to your parents, but what I know
Yeah.
absolutely is a lot of the older generation is guilty of trying to shield the kids as if the country has changed, and it hasn't. And then they get out there and experiencing stuff, and they don't know how to process it. They don't know where to place it because nobody's told them this is a problem. This is where you live. These people are historically not your friend. So even if one of them comes skipping up and smiling in your face, you still need to be very careful. It's always been that way, especially for black men. And when you're in all white environments, before I knew that was your video, I was like, look, there's both of me sitting up there with all these white people, and we should, somebody should have gotten this brother and told him you can't just be all, you can't do that, and this type of thing. There has to be an awareness so that whatever one does with that, we don't have no control. But we told you, because then when you're out pounding the pavement, you're trying to get that job that you never get, and you think it's you. Nobody's told you there's a system against you that you need to at least consider
Yeah.
that's in play here. No, don't look at that. Don't look at that. There's no way that could be it after 500 years of oppression of you. That's no way that could be on the table. That's all over now. No, it's not. I can't. Um, who did? Let's see. Jedi, I wish when I was coming up, I had someone like you to talk to. Thank you, Mel. I love you. I appreciate that. Um, did we find out where she parked her car? Good question, J9. Um, the
I
heifer
heard
said,
that.
what did you hear?
Yeah, it was on the same floor that Botham's apartment was. So it was the wrong floor. She parked on the wrong floor, right? And she ended up on the wrong floor in the apartment.
Or did she move her car after the fact?
Right?
Because I
Right?
called there. I called the South Side Flats, which sounds very ghetto,
Okay.
by the way.
Mm.
You just make people just be strewn out front, drinking 40 ounces and smoking blunts. So I'm at
Yeah.
South Side Flats because,
Yeah.
But I called there and I got some Asian chick, and my
Mm.
software shut down on. I was doing I was recording it live, like I was gonna release it as a video. It wasn't meant for the heavens, but anyways, but my hand to God, I spoke to her, and I was asking her, I got my whitest voice on me, like I was just some white surfer dude, and we're
Yeah.
looking at maybe an apartment, and you guys know, and I just did that whole routine.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
goodness.
is there assigned parking? And she was like, I have to call the site. I'm like, it's parking. You don't know that detail. I was the site manager on properties. I
Uh,
was in leasing. You don't know this? I could have
uh,
strangled her. But I think I sensed also some guard from her. Because what is your name? Can I call you back? No, you can't call me back. I'm in a meet. I'm going to a meeting. I'm going to a meeting. Anyways, I think at a place like that, I'm thinking there was a considerable rent at a place like that from what I see. But it's Texas, so it wouldn't be the same as some other places, like out west and stuff. But uh, I sense, I just feel like it's assigned parking, dude. And like I park my car in my garage, but even when I've lived at places where I have a parking space, I know, just even if I know my neighbor, I know what cars be on either side of me.
exactly.
I just know. And this was 10 o'clock on a Thursday, so people are not partying on like Friday, Saturday. This
Yeah.
is a Thursday night. I can't with her.
Yeah.
I can't with everybody down there. I just can't. I can't. I can't. I don't want to abuse your time, brother. I just want to begin to make a closure now.
Okay.
Um, um, what do you think now? I know you said before that, this will be with you the rest of your life.
Uh-huh.
Um, what do you think you will, what do you take away from this? Like, are you still just trying to, like, how does this fit into the context of my life, given, you know, you army, you're a military brat, and
Yeah.
then you just finishing school, and you just in that, you're on the runway of your own life. Here
Yeah.
I go, it's my turn to go now,
Mm.
and visioning your life for yourself in chapters. And now this happens.
Mm.
Boom. Where do you place that?
Brother, I was thinking that none of this racial tension, none of that was going to affect me. I was thinking that none of it was going to cross over into my life. I thought I was like shielded from that. But now that I see that it does affect me and I have to do something about it, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to understand my neighbor better. I'm trying to understand my brothers better. I'm trying to understand how I can be a better brother and a better neighbor, right? So I want to understand. I've been trying to seek to understand more
Mm-hmm.
and try to see where I fit into this narrative.
Don't beat yourself up trying to be the perfect person, brother.
Mm.
Know this: you don't have any work to do,
Mm.
because the only way there can be reconciliation is acknowledgement. I'll share this with you as we begin to close. There was a guy recently. I shared a video with my followers. He did a video about Colin Kaepernick, saying he's a white guy, saying why I'm gonna not speak the way I used to speak about Colin Kaepernick. And he was saying everything that he should have been saying. Because it's not about the anthem.
Mm.
It's not about the troops. Like, give me a break. This is
Yeah,
about murdering our people and not doing a damn thing about it.
exactly.
But he was a
Exactly.
white man saying it. So even the militant Jedi had to reach out to him, because I always tell my followers, we accept truth no matter what the source. Truth is our first foot and is our only pursuit.
Mm.
So I had to reach out to him. I had to. I had to, because I understand he can reach what we can't reach. You say it, you're just a complaining Negro. And why don't you just get over it? Racism's over and we did away with that. No, we didn't. Even slavery's not over. Do you understand
Yeah.
that the 13th Amendment was never ratified? We're still
Mm.
slaves. The moment you commit a felony and you're found guilty by a jury, you're now a slave again under their law. Lincoln didn't
Mm.
free the slaves. It's all in the legal language. People have to read, read, read. So I had to reach out to him, because his white voice saying what we are saying has his wave goes further.
Absolutely.
So I don't want you to get bogged down, because I've seen brothers where they're trying to be the perfect Negro for these white folks. No. They owe you everything and then some. But you don't have to walk around in constant indictment of them, because you got to get on with their ass through the course of a day.
Yeah.
But you find your own ways to let it be known, I'm not sucking up to you. I don't need to.
Mm.
Like, I don't need to. I'm not catering to you. Like, just hold yourself in your place as an individual. Represent your ground that you breathe upon, because they know who the guilty parties are. They know who
Absolutely.
the guilty parties are. And so a lot of times incidents like this can bring out a lot of white guilt. So they want to be overly helpful and overly understanding and all that. But that it gets on your nerves, but it's an opportunity to then put little things in there. Well, here's why we feel this way.
Yeah.
You see, and begin to sprinkle them, so that that knowledge is undeniable now. It's undeniable. But what it's going to take is acknowledgement. Don't run yourself crazy. You don't have to have the perfect haircut and dress perfect and do everything not to be threatening to them and all this. Forget that. We're over those days where you
Mm.
literally couldn't walk down the street and look them in the eye. It was against the law to
Yeah.
look them in the eye. Little kids, you had to say yes, sir, and no, sir, to. A little 3-year-old, I'll kick them with my foot and splat their ass across the room. I'm not saying yes, sir, no, sir, to a 3-year-old. Not doing it. You know, but that was the way. And some of them still thrive on the good Negro. It's okay. Because I always say any white people that are going to be around me and know me have got to accept me in all of my blackness. That means I got to be able to speak freely at all times. And you got to be okay with that. You've got to be okay with that. You see? So that's fine. So, but like I say, I'm here. I make myself, my hand to God. I make myself available for you, brother. Anytime you need guidance. Because as you go further in life, you will understand that the further you go up in the ladder, the more you see the face of the devil in this nation. This is why Barack Obama's hair is white. We don't age that fast, ever. A man that looks like Barack, he looks 19. But he's in there 5 minutes, and he turns into like the Crypt Keeper, at least by the hair. Because you're evil. You got people on national, international television when you're giving a State of the Union, calling you a liar, yelling it out. This is how bold they are. But if you're at the lower level, a lot of our people, when I talked about those tiers, those levels of awareness, because of just situational, maybe your parents didn't teach you and you just were in a situation where you were going to learn that, oh, we're under siege. So, you know, when you're at the lower level, somebody just works at McDonald's or you work at Walmart or something like that. It might just be some hateful white hatful on your job. But the more you go up in the society, you begin to see their true identity and the true face of the devil. And I've lived all over the country and worked in many. My work background is very eclectic. So I'm really qualified to say the things that I'm telling you. Like this is not just like a one-time observation. Like I'm not 21 and I've seen it. I've known them in their every expression, as we should, because we live in their environment. This is not our country. We are not citizens of this country. We are not. We are leftover, unwanted cargo. They had no plan for us after slavery. No plan. So we're a problem, but we're an economic base because we have nearly $2.3 trillion in expendable income that goes out of our community like that. We get money, it goes away. When we are gone, a whole hell of a lot of their economy collapses. So they don't want us, but damn it, we can build some prisons on them in those rural white areas, and our boys can go work at the prison. I'll give you a whole education, brother. You'll be up to speed. And you're in Tennessee, for God's sake. You have to know these things. Come on, like, I can't. You got to know. You understand? And from Arkansas, you were in the pit of the devil. You don't even know it, but it's all good. Maybe that's one of the reasons why God brought us together. You know, there's no meetings of two souls are ever random in life. I know that. I know that to be true. I know it. I know it. It's not a belief. I think it, and I tell you, I know it. 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 So, I want to say thank you to our audience and everybody who was able to see this live. I thank all of you guys and for your input. You guys know normally I do a live stream. I try and do better with your comments. This wasn't about that. This isn't really about us so much. It was more about us trying to get a little bit more of an understanding, a little closer to the life of Botham. Just if we just could, you know, and just to try and remember him, and you know, from somebody who was ordained and destined by God from the time God breathed his soul into him, that he was going to meet this guy and that their lives would intersect. And what I tried to do, because it touched me so much, like no other case has. Like, I really want to follow this through to the end. Like, I will go string this up myself if I have to. I'm really at that point because you just, I mean, my God, if both of them can be killed, anybody can be killed. We've said that about other cases. Huh? What'd you say, Wesley? Did you say something?
Oh, I was agreeing.
Yeah, I mean,
I was just agreeing.
Him is anybody, because now this is a new thing. They're coming into our house. We saw that just after Botham was killed in Maryland. You had the devil ass police go up in there, but the brother man was ready for their ass, and shot 2 of their asses. Understand that. Understand that. And all they can do was say, oh, we're sorry, he got no charges, he wasn't arrested, he wasn't nothing. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Because that's the next thing. That's why I say all African people need to be armed. Be acquainted with guns. Damn it. Because I heard the heifer from the NRA she's trying to blame, because they all, as a group, as white people, they all come together. They don't have to speak about it. So here's now the NRA chick blaming Botham nearly for his own death, saying, well, he should have had a gun. She should have been snatched and dragged for miles. I'm over it. There's a lot more I could say. I will get worked up. As my audience knows I do.
Yeah.
I get worked up. Wesley, I want to say to you, as one black man to another, I love you.
Thank you, brother.
That is from my mouth to God's ears to your soul. That's real. I need you to know that. My grandmother used to always say, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. I live by that. And everything that I do in my life, people that know me, people that follow me online, which I really am somebody that's straight from my heart. Like, there's not an artificial bone in my body. I never have been. I've been this way since I came to Earth. It's just about what's real and true. That's it. That's it. And I'm not concerned about feelings and opinions ever. That used to get me in trouble when I was little, because my grandma used to shush me. But from that age, I didn't care. Like, this is the truth I'm telling you, and I need to represent this. This is it. I don't care about how this makes people feel.
Yeah.
Truth settles everything. It settles everything. The problem is you have agents that suppress and try to change the truth and make it, oh, it's not really the truth, and we don't, I can't with that. I'm a truth teller, and I'm doing that till I take my last breath on it. So I mean that. I love you. I thank you so much for just for being vulnerable, just allowing this interview, man. I thank you so much.
Happy to do it.
And I mean that when I say that I want us to keep in contact. Absolutely. That's real. That's absolutely real. Because whether you know it or not, you need that. You need that. And the more you realize that, my phone's going ring. Jedi, I just want to holler at you.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. What should I do with this? Whatever. I got you, brother. I got you. You're a beautiful man. And I am proud of your progress thus far. What you shared to me, even pre-interview. I'm proud and I'm excited about where your life has the potential to go from here, because it really is all the way up. It's all the way up. It's all the way up. So I thank you guys all for tuning in, and we'll have further discussion about this, you guys. I'm looking forward to reading all your comments and stuff that I couldn't read while I was doing the interview, and then I probably will answer some of those, or something if there's something pertinent. This wasn't really about me. It's more about anything that he wanted to answer, and stuff that you guys wanted to ask and stuff like that. Once we got to that part. But I am going to end it here now. And this is a good time to end on, because we've been at it just exactly 2 hours. Funny.
Yeah.
2 and 2, my brother.
Yeah.
May the blessing of God be upon your soul.
Thank you.
May he increase you in this life and show you favor in the hereafter. I leave you. Peace, my brother.